Former Portland State University professor and author of How to Have Impossible Conversations, which I would like to talk to him about perhaps at a later date. Peter Boghossian. He joins us now. Hi, Peter. How are you, sir?
Glenn, it is a pleasure to speak with you again.
Likewise. I really enjoyed our conversation. I don't even know how long ago it was, but I did a podcast with you, and you at one point looked at me just almost with crazy eyes and went, I am really trying hard to find a way to hate you. And I can't do it. We both have that one thing in common, that no matter what people say about us, when you have an actual conversation and it's fair and honest, I can't find a way I can find a way to disagree with you, but I can't find a way to find that you're a monster, because you're not.
Yeah, I think that's right. So I want to thank you for your support in spite of our differences over the years. And I think we would make great neighbors. And I've always found you an honest broker of conversation. Let me ask something. So your listeners know that the university system is in crisis now. It's sick. It's not well. And I want to kind of explore some of that with you and get your thinking on this. So I believe very strong. I'll lay my beliefs out on the table,
sure,
and then we can talk about those. So I believe very strongly that we need intellectual diversity in our institutions, and
yes.
I believe that the people who benefit most from that are the students. Faculty also benefit, but the students are those individuals who benefit most from that. So that's one point. The second point is, I, to say the least, do not like Marxism. I think it's a poisonous ideology,
yes,
and it's a failed ideology. Now, with that said, I believe, and I want to ask if you believe this, I believe that there should be a Marxist in an economics department.
I don't have a problem with that, as long as it's fairly taught. And look, I truly believe two of my favorite people that seemingly get along, Peter Singer and Robbie George. They are completely,
I love that, by the way.
Yes, I do too. Completely opposite ends of the aisle. And they have decent and fair conversations together in front of the classes. And they don't beat each other up or call each other names. They state the facts as they understand them. The best universities and the best university professors should push you. If you're a conservative, they should push you on everything that you believe and challenge you, and do the same for the liberal in the class. And the professor, you should not have any idea which side he's on. Just teach people how to critically think.
Right. And Robbie George and Peter Singer are perfect examples of that, because
yes,
I think they embody intellectual integrity.
Yes.
But I want to use that as a commonality that you and I have. So you and I both believe that there should be intellectual diversity. Our institutions benefit, the faculty benefit, but particularly the students benefit. That commonality that we share, that's absent from those who want to rob us of our cognitive liberty.
Yes.
That's absent. They don't want intellectual diversity.
Correct.
They are systematically creating a monoculture where they cull divergent voices, and it's not by accident.
Well, they're doing that, as you know, Peter, they're doing that beyond the university. I mean, there was a time that I was hired by CNN. There is no way in hell anything like that would ever happen today. The same thing with, try to get, I have a book that sold millions of copies that is a great story. In fact, Paramount bought it at one point, and then the pressure started up, and I can't get anyone in Hollywood to do it, and it doesn't break my heart, but they will not allow anyone who disagrees with their religion to be able to speak out or have a platform at all.
Right. And that's exactly what it is. It's a religion, and it's spread from the universities into the society at large. And now many people have woken up to this. Some people are still in their slumber. the question is either what do we do about it, or how do we navigate, like how do we push it back, or how do we deal with this thing that we all have to live with? You know, we're all walking on eggshells. We never get to voice our opinion honestly. We never even know what anybody else means. Listen, the reason that you and I can have an authentic relationship is because I know what you mean when you say something.
Yes.
You don't have to pussyfoot around. I can speak bluntly and directly to you, and we can engage our disagreements honestly. A phrase that's not used anymore, but like men, right? Like adults, we can sit there. If I don't know what you think and you don't know what I think, we can never have authentic relationships because nobody knows who the other person is.
Or
it's only what the other person. Yeah, go ahead.
Or worse, if one side is telling everyone this is what they mean, and that doesn't reflect reality at all, and they paint you into something entirely different. No, just leaving us as, I don't know what they think, would be a blessing. But instead, it is painting people that they never discuss anything with, painting them as monsters.
Correct. And so I think it's really important for your listeners and others to know the enemy, your enemies are those who want to rob you of cognitive liberties and who want you to think a certain way and to be a certain way. Your enemies are not people who have substantive political disagreements with you. That's what America is about.
Yes.
This is the land of the free, and that's what we do. There are rules of engagement. We talk to each other. I'm not a big fan of debate. I much prefer a conversation, but debate is fine. But we engage those ideas in the public square, and then we vote on them. And I think that we are losing something fundamental in this country, and we have to start talking to each other again. We have to. We have to start speaking across divides. We have to start looking, and you put your finger on it exactly. It's people looking at other people as moral monsters, not merely that they're wrong, but that they're bad people.
So, Peter, as we are looking at this, I mean, let me say something that I don't think you'll hear others on the right say, and that is, right now, I am extraordinarily concerned about what's happening in Washington with the power grab, the unconstitutional power grab that is staggering and leaves you breathless when you look at it. But I will tell you, if it continues to go this way and you continue to push people into a corner, right now, the number one enemy, according to Democrats, the number one enemy to America is the Donald Trump voter. The number one enemy to Republicans, I believe, is China, and then the next one, I believe, is terror. Number 4 or 5 is the Democrats. But I tell you, if you continue to go this way, you're going to get a demagogue the other way that will just be just as frightening. We've got to stop this swing so far towards authoritarianism.
Yeah, and here's one of the reasons for that. When you disallow people from honestly voicing their opinion through political correctness or what have you, if you do not talk about your problems will not go away. In fact, quite the contrary, they'll be worse. And if, as a society, we continue to not be honest about the nature of our problems, a strong man or a demagogue or somebody who claims to have all the answers will. But the founders, as you know from your books and what you've spoken about, the founders were very wise. And they knew that, and they set up systems of checks and balances. But that system is only so resilient as the populace. And so it's not hyperbole to say that we're in a crisis right now where the behavior that started in the universities has seeped out of the universities. And not only are we not talking to each other and looking at each other as moral monsters, but there's a crisis of trust, of confidence in our institutions. And this crisis has to be addressed.
But how do you address it? I mean, if you're a conservative, you'll look at, I mean, we conservatives used to believe in the Justice Department and the court system, and we were probably too far the other way, where we thought, no, there's no, too far the other way. We should have had more healthy skepticism. But now, I mean, Peter, I said last week, because of what's going on, and I have a different view of things because I've been working on saving people in Afghanistan with the audience. I said something I never thought I would say before. If this is what they're doing to our face, what are they doing behind my back? And it makes me say, I cannot be an American. I'd renounce my citizenship. That's an extraordinary thing for me to say, but I have zero trust in these institutions.
Right, and that's the problem, and you're not alone. I have zero trust in the institutions. So many people have zero trust in the institutions. And so what you did, everybody should, what you did in Afghanistan is absolutely phenomenal, and everybody across the aisle should be stepping forward and saying, wow, that's incredible, thank you. Like, that's a genuine humanitarian crisis. It doesn't matter what your politics is. You did a phenomenal thing. And so I want to get back to your question of what to do about this. I mean, at an abstract level, you have to stop with this ideological nonsense, and you have to make truth the North Star of the institution. But in a more concrete level, you have to stand up to bullies. You simply cannot let these people bully you. And you have to be honest that this will probably come at a cost to you. The social media mobs, the slander, the baseless accusations. But if you don't stand up, then that attitude of, I'm ashamed to be American, and renounce myself, that's going to spread.
Yes.
And then what are we left with?
Nothing.
If you think you have problems with America as the hegemon, wait until the Chinese take over.
I know.
So we have to stand up. The other thing that people have to do, and I just wish that, listen, one of the reasons that I'm on your show, besides the fact that I genuinely like you as a person, is because, to be blunt with you, you called me, right? Tucker called me. The left won't call me. They won't have conversations. OPB, the Oregonian. I want to talk about what's broken in or you don't even have to talk about what's broken. For example, Portland State University President Stephen Percy said that racial justice is his highest priority. Okay, I think there's a legitimate question there. Should racial justice be the highest priority of a taxpayer-funded institution? Nobody on the left will talk about it. So here's what I have to say to your audience. Even if people don't want to talk to you, you have to let it be known that you are willing to talk to them.